Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me and allowing me to continue to be your daily advocate. If you're new here or you're not subscribed for any reason, please do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button. Thank you to all of you who have been watching and following me for so long. It truly means a lot, and I'm glad that I can be this person.
This comes from CNBC. The case for Bitcoin as digital gold is falling apart. That sounds so scary. What are we gonna do? How will we sleep at night? But I want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. At the time I'm recording this, XRP is down to 66 cents. Bitcoin is at $35,464. Market cap for the asset class, the lowest I've seen it in a hot minute. 1.64 trillion, and Bitcoin dominance at 40.97%. Now, mind you, for a little perspective, because I've held XRP through every step of volatility since the first day I bought it, which was November 17th, 2017. It's been over 4 years now. I've never sold one single XRP. I've been through every ounce of that volatility along the way, including seeing XRP jump up shortly after I first jumped into crypto all the way up to almost $4, and then ultimately crashing down to 11 cents in March of 2020, so almost 2 whole years ago. And I'll tell you what, when it was down at 11 cents, I was not fearful. I understood that that price action was disconnected to anything having to do with fundamental analysis, having anything to do with actual value, because value is separate from price. And my investment thesis has been that utility matters and will win the day. I don't know when humans will sufficiently value utility, but I'm telling you, our species is not going to throw away digital assets, which has attributes that, and you can have business models that otherwise couldn't exist, without these decentralized cryptocurrencies. Like, humans are not going to just throw them away on the whole. Yeah, fine, most cryptocurrencies will go to zero, I think, the vast majority of them, but not those that are solving real problems. I see XRP solving real problems. It just makes me think back to Amazon, how it was, what was it worth? During the height of the dot-com bubble, $113, then crashed down to what, $6 or $7, something like that. And so you look at how that crashed down, and Jeff Bezos has talked about this. What happened? The price was tanking. It was completely unrelated to adoption, real-world utility, real-world value. And so he was looking internally at his company's metrics, and he's like, well, any metric you want to look at, it's to the upside. It's just a complete disconnect. And so that's all we're seeing here. So what the hell does it matter? Oh no, crypto's being just as volatile as it's been for the entirety of its existence for over 13 years, and we're caught off guard by this? No, this is to be expected. I would get alarmed if this stuff didn't happen, okay? So everybody's freaking out while it is happening. I'd freak out if it didn't happen. I'm like, where'd the volatility go? I'm here for the volatility. The purpose of investing is volatility. Without volatility, there is no opportunity for price increase, right? So it just doesn't make sense. Here's the Crypto Fear and Greed Index at 23 out of 100, indicating market participants in extreme fear. You just wait till tomorrow, though, because at the time of recording this, let's see, it's 9:42 p.m. Central Standard Time on whatever the hell it is, 70s, 40s, what the hell it is, Wednesday, February 23rd. And so this Crypto Fear and Greed Index, it only updates once every 24 hours at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. So I'm suspecting by the time it updates tomorrow, unless something very magical happens, that number's going to be a bit lower. That would be my for fun guess. So it's the whole market moving down, nothing to do with utility. So again, if you're feeling fearful out there, are you sure it makes logical sense? Are you really sure? I'm not. But take a look at this, because look, I understand. Price levels, important levels of support have been lost. In fact, take a look at this tweet from chart analyst Love Crypto from February 14th. And he was talking about XRP here. And at the time he tweeted this out, I believe XRP was about 80 cents, but he wrote the following. As long as 75 cents holds, nothing is bearish about this. And he's sharing a chart on the screen. Healthy bullish consolidation within a bullish pennant on the daily suggests continuation into at least the $1 target. Higher targets in the short term are also in orange. Big day for Bitcoin, let's see. And so again, to be clear, he said as long as 75 cents holds. And so when it comes to analysis, chart analysis within crypto or stocks, whatever, it's more like if you're being honest about this, and you're an analyst, then it's basically a bunch of if-then statements. And so there are parameters that you can set based on your models, and your models can become invalidated. And so for him, one thing that was going to invalidate this model, this expectation, was if there was a dip below 75 cents, and that happened. And so this afternoon, Lev Crypto wrote the following: lost this level with conviction. Macro environment not helping. 55 cents and 50 cents are now the next levels of significant support. Hashtag XRP. Is what it is, folks. And then there was this from analyst Lark Davis, who wrote Bitcoin monthly MacD in the red, with of course MacD being the freshest hip-hop artist on the scene today. Bitcoin monthly MacD in the red hasn't happened very often, but it has often been associated with the beginning of a much bigger sell-off. Big question is if this is the start of a new mega bear cycle like 2014 or 2018, or simply an anomaly news event like the 2020 COVID thing. And so, interesting to see, larger and larger accounts out there and personalities in crypto asking this question: is it a bear market for Bitcoin? So that would be interesting, because I'll tell you who's been screaming this off the rooftops the loudest is the blockchain backer. Maybe he's right. I don't know. I'm not fearful either way. To me, it doesn't matter, because I'm just here for the long haul. I've only invested what I'm willing to lose in case I'm wrong, and I understand volatility occurs. So the fact that we're seeing that, even if it continues to go to the downside, even for a number of years, I don't care. I don't need this money right now. I've invested it for the long haul, and I believe it's going to be worth way more in the future regardless. Like, I'm not worried, no matter what, even if there's a bear market here, and even if we actually didn't see the euphoric alt season, the blow-off top, even if for the first time we didn't see that, I'm still chill, because the direction's going to be the same, I believe, over the long haul. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't expect an altcoin, alt season blow-off top. To me, that still makes perfectly reasonable sense. But I'm just saying, even if the worst of the worst that you could possibly imagine occurs, I'm still sitting here like, okay, I don't emotionally feel scared. I just don't. It doesn't impact me. It doesn't matter. There's value to crypto. Crypto's not going to zero. Most cryptocurrencies will go to zero, I believe, but crypto as an asset class isn't going to zero. It's not going away, period. Could not be more obvious at this point, right? But it will be interesting to see, is the blockchain backer actually correct? He could be. I don't know. I'm just as curious as you. It's just interesting to see more and more people talking about this. And then there was this from the Daily Hodl, this piece titled, Popular Crypto Analyst Says Bitcoin Could Retrace to Early 2021 Prices. Here's what to watch for. And I'm not going to read the whole article, but I'll just point out the general perspective. This individual named Rect Capital, this is the analyst in question with 291,000 Twitter followers, was noting that if 38,000 isn't held, and it clearly has not been held to this point, it becomes resistance, which would put you in this range where you're looking at Bitcoin more like in the $28,000 to $30,000 range. And that's the price, like at the lower end of that, that's where you saw Bitcoin at the beginning of last year, 2021. It was almost at 30,000, but it was 29,000 and something when the year started. So that's where we are, folks. And I just keep seeing this type of analysis. So I haven't picked like a few opinions to share with you in this video because it just gets redundant, but I did want to highlight a few, and so I have. This seems to be the general expectation for now. This is what I keep seeing over and over and over again. But we've seen this story before. Oh, it's very scary out there. Take a look at this tweet from the Documenting Bitcoin Twitter account here. They wrote, seems like a bit of a pattern. And what did they share? Well, they shared 3 pictures. They're titles from various media outlets. This one's from TechCrunch, dated April 10th, 2014. The headline is, Bitcoin falls below the $400 mark, down more than 60% from its all-time high. Oh my gosh, it's the end of the world. And let me say this too. The more time passes, the more data you have, the more obvious it is that there's a serious trend here, and it makes even less sense the more time passes to be scared by volatility. The more, and so like fine, you're back in 2014, plenty of people had conviction that crypto and Bitcoin not going away, but still, you had several years of data and that's it. Folks, we've got over 13 years of Bitcoin price action now. Think about it. Bitcoin and crypto, obviously. So there you go, from over $1,000 to $400. Oh no, it's the end of the world. Now here's another headline. This one's from November 25th, 2018 from Bloomberg. Bitcoin falls further below $4,000. Crypto continues to plunge. Oh my God, it's the end of the world again. Here's another headline. This one's from January 10th of this year, 2022, from CNBC. Bitcoin briefly tumbles below $40,000 to the lowest since September as investors shed risk. Is there a pattern here? Because I'm seeing a little something. That's a few data points, right? So obvious is not going away. And then there's this, and I got a few things to say about this. This is the latest one from CNBC. This is from today. The case for Bitcoin as digital gold is falling apart. Well, let me say this at the outset. Look, the question you should be asking is, will XRP, Bitcoin, and crypto in general, will it make you wealthier over time? Will it increase your purchasing power, or do the opposite? So look, arguments about whether or not Bitcoin is digital gold, has intrinsic value, or is a store of value, these people that talk about this, if they're anti these ideas and they say the answer is no, it doesn't have any of these things, it's not valuable. These narratives, they frequently just devolve into, I'd say, thought processes that miss the bigger picture. You're missing the mark. Okay? You should be asking, is it going to, because we get into the nitty-gritty. Do I care if Bitcoin meets a technical definition of digital gold? Do I care if it actually has intrinsic value? Not that I'm not saying it's not worth talking about these things. It can be fun and interesting. I'm just saying that we've got 13 years of data showing that Bitcoin and crypto is moving to the upside despite dramatic pullbacks. And then you got to kind of question too, like, what makes something a store of value? Let me show you this before reading any of the article. This is showing historical gold prices, and you can see at the time of recording this in 2022, the average closing price for gold is $1,831.52 per ounce of gold. $1,831.52 for 1 ounce of gold. You know what gold was back in the year 2000? It was only $279.29. So it went from $279 basically to about a little over $1,800. Well, that's volatile AF, my friends. Can gold be a store of value if it's that volatile? My gosh, the percentage, that's crazy. And there was dramatic moves to the downside as well. It wasn't just a straight line up, folks. And so these people that argue volatility makes something not a store of value, I'm like, what's the litmus test for what a store of value is? Who is the person, or what is the entity that decided what the test is to define what a store of value is, and why are they in charge? Well, the answer is, the truth is, it's just subjective opinions from various humans out there, which is why I'm thinking, yeah, it's fine, it can be fun to talk about this stuff, but you're missing the bigger picture if you're not seeing that Bitcoin and crypto have been trending up for the entirety of their existence. On the whole, if you just draw a straight line through it, it's just like a rocket to the upside, despite temporary pullbacks, despite multi-year bear marks, Steve. If you just draw a line through all of the noise, it's to the upside. It could not be more obvious. And talking about intrinsic value, here's the question, in sense of intrinsic value, do cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoins, have desirable attributes? Attributes that people want, and can they do things that could not be done if they didn't exist? Maybe you should ask that, because obviously there are business models, like I said, that can exist that otherwise could not exist. And there are attributes that wouldn't be possible without this technology, which represents value. And so you can argue about which horses win the race, and not all cryptocurrencies will exist if you fast forward sufficiently long enough. Maybe Bitcoin doesn't. I don't know for sure. I hope it does. I think it could. It might. There's a reasonable chance, even though it's the first cryptocurrency. It's already a standard. It's set in place. Humans care about standards, right? I understand that too. But the answer is yes. These attributes matter to these people. This is what you should be focusing on. That's what's really more important. So let me share with you part of this article from CNBC about Bitcoin not being digital gold. And really, when you see Bitcoin, just think any crypto, because any crypto that's going to have staying power, including XRP, it's going to be treated as digital gold. Think about it. Whatever its use cases are, plus digital gold, because people will invest in it just because they'll have, I believe anyway, it's part of my investment theory, that people will continue to invest in those cryptos just to diversify if they know they're getting used for other things. They'll think, well, if businesses need it to do so-and-so, might it be safe for me to plant some of my net worth here? I think the answer is yes. And you'll increasingly see that over time, including a bunch of institutional money increasingly coming in. And that's already been to the upside, but I'm just saying, you'll see waves and waves of it. I think you'll see those waves exponentially increase as time passes. Anyway, piece reads as follows. Bitcoin is often referred to as digital gold by its backers. The term refers to the idea that Bitcoin can provide a store of value similar to gold, one that's uncorrelated with other financial markets like stocks. Pause. Already right there. It's, whether you like it or not, crypto is heavily correlated to the stock market. Think about what happened in March 2020, the most famous, obvious example. When the pandemic happened, stocks tanked and Bitcoin and crypto followed. It is what it is. Not that Bitcoin follows stocks down in the second, the minute, the day, the week, so on and so forth, but if you zoom out on a chart, it moves in tandem. Let's just accept that this is data and move on with life. So it doesn't mean that Bitcoin can't be valuable or a store of value or this or that, and it doesn't mean that it can't shift over time anyway, because I'll tell you what, volatility is going to decrease the more participants there are. And I've talked about that theory many times on this channel. The more participants in the space, the less volatile the assets and asset class will be on the whole. Piece continues. Bitcoin bulls also see the cryptocurrency as a safe haven asset that can serve as a hedge against global economic uncertainty and increasing prices, which reduce the purchasing power of sovereign currencies like the US. With inflation at historic highs, you'd expect this would be Bitcoin's time to shine. US consumer prices last month rose the most since February 1982, according to Labor Department figures. Pause. Folks, I'm going to endlessly shout this from the rooftops, okay? Price action, even in mature markets, it's more about emotional buying and selling than fundamental analysis, right? And so even if it is, in theory, a good idea to have Bitcoin or pick your cryptocurrency, XRP, because governments around the world, including the United States government, are printing their fiat currencies into oblivion, even if that makes logical sense, it doesn't mean that humans are going to behave rationally when investing. Humans behave irrationally when investing. It doesn't mean that Bitcoin or crypto can't serve that purpose. And also, it doesn't mean just because all sorts of crazy stuff is happening right now that market cycles cease to exist. What? They're just going to stop existing? Do you think that? Like, these simple concepts, they're just completely missed by people in mainstream media. It's like digging a little further. It's so obvious. Piece continues. Instead, the cryptocurrency has lost almost half of its value since reaching an all-time high of nearly $69,000 in November. That's led analysts to question whether its status as a form of digital gold still rings true. Okay. Well, gold has crashed. Is it still gold? Actual gold has crashed. What do these? My God, like the thought processes that some of these people go through has me scratch my head sometimes. Bitcoin is still very early in its maturity curve to be firmly placed in the category of digital gold. Vijay Iyer, Vice President of Corporate Development and International at crypto exchange Luno told CNBC. Okay, fine, look. And I've acknowledged any crypto I'm betting on, maybe they all go to zero. Maybe every single crypto I hold almost 30 different cryptocurrencies. Maybe I'm wrong on all the horses I'm betting on. Even if that's the case, I'm not wrong about the crypto asset class. People will adopt. Like, think about this. Like, if XRP, let's say no additional cryptocurrencies could ever exist again in the future. Nobody could create anymore, which obviously isn't the case. But let's say that were the case, then the winners would already be here. I'm just saying that even if I'm wrong and there are things that are so much better that it makes XRP and all these other coins go to zero, I'm still right about crypto. That couldn't be more obvious. So, like, fine, Napster, peer-to-peer music sharing, file sharing, it was the first. That didn't work out, did it? You know? And then there's MySpace. How'd MySpace work out? Well, it was okay for a little while. MySpace is gone. I mean, not literally, but effectively. It hasn't been a social media site for, what, I think it's a site for musicians now or some crap like that, but it's been gone for well over a decade. And so it's not always the case that the first of any technology ends up succeeding. It could, but either way, you got to look at the bigger picture. Will investing in the asset class result in you having greater wealth or less wealth over time? And to me, the answer is greater wealth despite bear markets and tremendous pullbacks. It couldn't be more obvious, which is why I keep insisting it doesn't make sense to be fearful about negative price action today or any other day where markets are down. Everything's fine. You should expect these things to happen. And I don't know if it's going to get a lot worse in terms of negative price action. And if it does, I don't care. It doesn't matter. I'm going to hold. Because everybody that's sufficiently held over the last 13 years, they've ended up fine. Everybody that's held to this point, over 13 years of data. But do you think this is the first moment where that won't be true and crypto collapses and never comes back? This is the moment in time? Okay. Respectfully disagree. Respectfully disagree with you if you hold that opinion.
So enjoy your day, everybody. I'm always here for you. Leave any comments or questions below and be sure to subscribe. But thanks, everybody. I really appreciate you. Enjoy your day, and I always have your back. So thanks so much, everybody.